I said, without clear vision, destruction will be inevitable. That's a heading. Let me explain something to you. A lot of people believe that it was God that brought Jesus to the heavenly throne. Some believe also that it was God that killed Goliath for David. Some also believe that it was God that brought Joseph to the throne of Egypt. Some believe too that it was God that made Esther a queen. All these things are the shameful things the church has believed, that it has sustained pain inside the people. When we are coming now, I told them in the car, I said some believers are believing up to this afternoon that it was God that raised Jesus from the grave. How? How? If God is the one that raised Jesus from the grave, why has he not been raising others? Why will he raise one man? Why has he not raised another person since that time? Why will Peter them? Does God love people to stay in the grave? Please hear me. I want to preach to you. Try and listen to me. Does God want people to be in the grave? The answer is no. I want to ask you a question. Does God want people to be poor? Can you say no? Does God want people to be sick? Can you say no? So why are all these things happening to people and God is watching them? Is it because God will never take responsibility for what a man chose? And there are so many things we choose involuntarily. There are so many people who say they don't want poverty, but they are behaving poverty. Poverty is enshrined in their mentality, and their past has not processed value that can be billionaires. They have done nothing to be billionaires, and they say they don't want to be poor. Their confession is not enough. After confession, they should take responsibility. I say after what? After confession, they should take responsibility. And in case you don't know, I want to ask you another question. Why in 49, 8, 9, and 10, why do you think that God reserved the royalty of Israel to Judah? The answer is simple. There is a nature for every destiny. I said there is what? There is a nature. Apart from effort, there is a nature. Don't joke with nature. It controls effort. Don't joke with the way something is. It is the way Judah is that made God to reserve royalty to Judah. And then you say that God can change everybody. How? It is what is made available to God that God changes. Up till now, in chapter 5 of the book of Revelation, the lion is still from Judah. Because Judah is a kind. Judah is a type. The person of Judah cannot be replaced. Since you were born, have you studied irreplaceability? That this particular being you're seeing cannot be replaced. Since you were born, have you ever studied high quality in people? You say, Lord, I want to thank you for a life like this. I want to thank you for a life that is lived this way. Not looking for quick replacement. It's not possible. Even teaching, no matter how long this teaching lasts, I will still go. Hear me. Even in teaching, that is why there are things you don't teach people, because you consider capacity. When you're teaching, Jesus didn't teach his disciples how to come out of the grave because it wasn't necessary. Now, from 37 of the book of Genesis, the moment that Jacob had 12 children, Joseph was separated. And then he started a personal journey that brought him to the throne. So it wasn't God's business. He pulled out from his brothers. And then he started following vision. He started following vision until vision brought him. Now, that means it wasn't the business of God. He contributed. I say he was, Joseph was completely in charge. Listen to what I'm about to tell you before I go away from it. Listen to this. It is not possible for great lives to be confused. That is why it is not so possible for great lives to be dark. Before the teacher comes, your life should have direction. There should be some vision, should be inside. Somebody did something 2 times and said, I made a mistake. How can your lifestyle be a mistake? How can something you keep repeating be a mistake? How can something that manifested from who you are? How can a life, excuse me, let me ask you a question. How can a life that doesn't have direction be royal? How can somebody who is not living for any reason not end into problem? You're looking at me and you're already 30 years. And they ask you, what did you use your 30 years to do? You say you'll be going up and down. What part of your life did 30 years protect? What way of reasoning has 30 years forged? What have you discovered in 30 years of living? What do you like too much as a matter of discovery? What did you like too much? What vow is in your heart because of discovery? What do you hate so much because of discovery? I said, what do you hate so much? What have you discovered that is the consequences of evil? Now you are 40 years. Now you are 50 years. 50 years is in the past, not in front. Something should be clear to your soul. Excuse me. Let me explain something. Let me tell you exactly what I'm talking about. I've always thanked God for being a union that I'm not married. But there is no day in my life. There is no day in my life. The joy of being 60 years without a wife got very deep into me like this morning when I go home. I said there is no years, there is no day in how many years? In 60. I said there is no day when? In 60 years. If you're looking at me, I have left what I said. Sharing with you is not necessary. But what I will never lack is the gain. I said I will never do what? I will never lack the gain. And if you're here, you're a mother, you're a father, don't lack the gain. Don't lack the gain of having family. Don't play with the gain. You see, because every destiny makes demand on something. When the book in chapter 5 of Revelation was closed, was what? Closed. God gave opportunity to only one person to open it. And that is worthiness. John came there and was crying. One of the elders said, look, only one man can open this book. And when he took the book and opened it in chapter 5, 7, and 8, the Bible said the elders in heaven and the beast, the world, they fell before him and said, you're worthy, that is deserving. Deserving are you. He said to take the book, he said, because you died for it. It's not even that he died for it, that he is worthy. Huh? Do you know why sometimes people don't get answer to prayer? Because the people ask conflicting things to God. They say, God, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Yeah, excuse me, that somebody is visionless does not mean that God should be confused. But confusion does not ring bell and say, I am confused though. It is the reaction of God to prayer that shows how confused people are. Because you see, God cannot bring answer to prayer that is made in confusion. Somebody said we've been praying and God is not answering. I said, when you're praying and God didn't answer, did you find out? Stop the prayer and discover why he has not responded. Don't pray answer again, pray discovery. Lord, I've been asking you this and you've not responded. Turn away from asking him that and say, Lord, why have you not responded? And then wait. Because if you ask him, why have you not responded? He'll be very quick in telling you. And it is more important than to ask him, than to keep asking. To ask him why, than to keep praying. Lord, I don't want poverty in our family, father's house. I don't want poverty. Remove poverty from us. Oh God, remove poverty from us. Don't do that. Ask him why people are poor. And then you wait. The answer of that question can solve 5 years of prayer made in ignorance. Is somebody hearing me? Lord, I want to buy a car. What should I do? Monday to Monday, you wait. The moment that you ask him that question, he comes quickly in answer. So, a lot of people are saying that they are suffering, but it is the way they live that is attracting it. And as long as that way is there, the problem cannot be solved, because the problem is coming from them. I said the problem. Okay, can you look up? Can you look up? Let me tell you something that will touch you very well. God will depend on something he gets from you to bless you. And you live your years from year 1 to 50. And you are not even asking yourself what you have given God to forge your destiny. All that you're asking God is to bless you. And you're doing what you want with your life. Without knowing that you have to give God something to bless you with. Somebody first of all wasted his life and come back to accuse God that he has not blessed him. Should God not get something from you before blessing you? And the blessing God gives you, should it not be measured from what God got from you? I used to ask Lagos Army. I said, if I have wife and family, will you have a camp? They will say no. So I will say to them, I said, what have you decided? What did you give up? You want a great destiny without giving up something. Since I gave up wife and children to build a camp and to make Lagos Army come this way, so what do you give up to be part of Lagos Army? Or you want to come to a place where so much has been given up by men, and then you want to be part of that place without giving something up yourself. Some people, do you know why death is raining? Some people, instead of giving their life what God is demanding from them to make business from it, they will keep it until Satan will take it. So God is asking somebody, so sow your car. Sow this car to me. Sow this car to me. He didn't sow the car. After a while, the car had an accident. I want you to serve me. Many years ago, I called a woman. I called her privately. I said, the Lord said I should tell you that the remaining part of your life now should be used for intercessory work. I want you to hear. I said, the remaining part of your life now should be used for what? Intercessory work. I said, you have done very much for yourself. The Lord was telling me to tell her. I said, you have done so much for yourself, did business, travel around the world, doing business. I said, the remaining part of this your life should be used in the temple. That's what God said I should tell you. She didn't listen to me. She continued. She had me. I told it to her 2 times. She had me said it. She didn't stop the business. She didn't join she didn't do intercession. Shortly after that, she died. Her son came to me. I didn't even know she told her son. I didn't know she told this into her son. Her son came to me and said, Daddy, I said, yes. I want to get married. He told me, he just waited. He told me they want to get married. I said, yes, I know. He said, and I want my first daughter to be an intercessor for God of life and immortality. That work my mother couldn't do. So I told him, I asked him, I said, did he tell you? He said, yes. I was touched. The boy broke down and told me something. He said to care for them was one of the reasons that her mother didn't become an intercessor. And then he told me something again. He said, caring for them was not as important as obeying God. So something somebody felt is what the granddaughter, a girl that's not born yet. My question to somebody is that, can God really be wrong? Can God be wrong in your life? If God cannot be wrong, why will his instruction be disobeyed? Can you really do without God? Can God really protect somebody in disobedience? When that boy told me that his daughter will be an intercessor, and I asked him, did your mother tell you what I told her? He said she told him. If you are here, you are unique. Don't joke with your uniqueness. If a word comes from God on you, don't joke with the word that comes from God on you. God will never cheat you. God speaks to people to bless them and to protect them. So you should be happy that God has spoken to you. Speaking to you is a sign that he has recognized you. If God will bless Nigeria, Nigerians must provide what he will depend on to bless them. If God must bless your family, your family should be visionary. If God will change your family, God will get something from family members to change families. People should feel happy that God is calling them for a special assignment. There is no time in my life like I am here on Tuesday for one thing God asked me to do for him. And then who am I? Who am I that even God is giving me instruction? It's an honor of my life. Excuse me, God didn't tell me 2 times not to get married. He didn't tell me 2 times. Why must he tell me? Why must he say something I had and he's telling me 2 times? Who am I that God is talking to me 2 times? That's wasting time. Even if he whispers, I will still obey it. Man like me, ordinary whispering, I will obey. Our firstborn, my elder sister just suddenly died. Our elder sister, my elder sister shortly after she died, the anointing of God came on me. The anointing of God came on me. And when I told my parents that I want to be a preacher, they didn't just like it. And my elder sister just died. And I know how helpless we were when she was sick. So I asked him, I said, if God come after my life, what can you contribute? Crying. I said, it's not you that I will obey. I will obey him that asked me to be a preacher. And I will obey him 100%. And just like when you told me I should not have a family, no human being have ever supported me. I don't care. If it's God, man will not matter. My name is already Christian. Without Christ, I'm nothing. So what am I living for? It's an honor of my life for what God wants me to do for him to be clear to me. And if you hear his voice and ignore him, I will wait for how far you will go without him. You think that God says something to you and go away? When God gives you instruction, he will stay with you. Every insult he received from disobedience, we multiply pain. You see, because instruction delivers from evil. I say instruction. You hear God's instruction and you don't care. Men are painfully devalued. Men are painfully devalued through distraction. Men are painfully devalued through distraction. Now, I would like you, if you look up, I will give you this gift. If Satan, anywhere poverty and shame lasted long, the principal thing Satan did was to distract people. Let me say it again. I said, if shame and poverty have stayed in a family for long, the principal thing Satan did on earth was to do what? Now, distraction is something that God will use the totality of your life to accomplish. You first of all scattered your life. Let me say it again. I said, something that God will use the totality of your life to, you first of all did what? Scattered your life into 7 directions. If you scatter your life into 7 directions, it can no longer be whole. If you start looking at 5 things instead of looking at one thing, The other one you should look, you can be, God will say, look at this thing only. And then you start looking at 5 things. Remember that the attention is already on 5 things. And if out of the 5, 1 might be the one God asks you to give the whole of attention. As long as you're looking at 5 things, you're not going to see any of them clearly.